Humanity is obsessed with breaking the sky's limits. Since time is immemorial, humans have built stunning skyscrapers, and the race to the top skies seems not to stop any day soon. In fact, the race to the skies and the need to build taller is as old as time. We can only anticipate taller and taller skyscrapers to be built with time. It is over the past century that we have seen a significant leap in the height of skyscrapers. It is like a competition to the skies, with countries, engineers, and designers trying to outdo their counterparts. Talk of the Burj Khalifa of Dubai that goes 828 meters up into the sky, the Makkah Royal Clock Tower of Saudi Arabia that is 601 meters, not to forget the Ping An Finance Center of China, which is 599 meters. But in the quest to touch the skies with ambitious skyscrapers, one country seems not to be interested: India. India is home to some of the world's most populated cities. The country plays host to countless natural riches and artificial marvels that would astound one and all. It also has the second highest GDP in Asia after China. But its buildings do not really reflect these numbers. Although the country has several skyscrapers, most of them do not actually catch the eyes of skyscraper enthusiasts. Most of these buildings belong to the metropolises of Mumbai, Chennai, as well as Kolkata, and do not go anything above 400 meters. Take the Imperial 3 of Mumbai, for instance, whose construction started in 2016 and is projected to be done by the year 2025. Its height is 396 meters. Once completed, the Imperial 3 building will become the tallest building in India. Another excellent example is the 360 West Tower B of Mumbai. This building is deemed the second tallest in India with a height of 372 meters. So one would probably wonder why India has lagged so much behind in the game of skyscrapers. I will give you the answers. Floor Space Index. The primary reason engineers, designers, and architects cannot build skyscrapers in India that go as tall as they desire is the restrictions laid down by the Floor Space Index, introduced in the United States after the Second World War. The governing council of the city, called the Municipal Corporation in the case of Indian cities, is responsible for limiting the value of Floor Space Index. The Floor Space Index is defined as the ratio of the total built-up area to the plot area. For example, suppose the plot area is 10,000 square meters. In that case, the builder can build an apartment with a built-up area of 10,000 square meters if the Floor Space Index is equal to 1, and a built-up area of 20,000 square meters if the Floor Space Index is equal to 2. In the case of Mumbai, the Floor Space Index for the city district is 1.33, and that of the suburban areas such as Bandra to Dahisar and Sion to Mulund is 1, and this explains why most of the high-rises are located in South Mumbai. You're probably wondering if it would be a good idea for Mumbai to increase its Floor Space Index and have those skyscrapers going tall. But this is not possible either. Why so? There are several reasons for it. Firstly, the population density in Mumbai is ridiculously high at 32,400 people per square kilometer. On the contrary, Hong Kong, with a Floor Space Index 12 times that of Mumbai, is still less. Hence, if Mumbai can be dense with a Floor Space Index of 1.33, how dense would it be if there had been an unlimited Floor Space Index? Secondly, previous and current Indian governments have always intended the cities to have a horizontal stretch instead of vertical growth. The idea was spearheaded by the fact that India had so many remote cities surrounded by villages. Therefore, a horizontal spread of the city would mean ease of accessibility to the central city areas from the adjacent rural areas and thus faster urbanization of the rural areas. But this did not apply to Mumbai because of its geographical location. Remember, Mumbai is located on an island and the mainland is surrounded by Western Ghats and forests. This terrain hinders the horizontal spread, which is why Mumbai has a couple of skyscrapers. Climate. The third and one of the most significant reasons why India has lagged behind in the skyscraper game is because of its climate. So let us imagine two building scenarios. The first is a 10-story building, while the second is a 50-story building. What do you think would be the difference between the heat dissipation between the two buildings? The plot with the 50-story building will most certainly dissipate more heat than the one with the 10-story building. As an example, consider the number of air conditioners operating in the two buildings. As the number of air conditioners or all electrical gadgets is higher in taller buildings in the same plot area, The heat dissipation per unit area would be higher if we allow a higher floor space index. Also, due to the increasing effects of global warming, it would be wise to encourage horizontal spread rather than vertical growth. Mumbai is low-lying, and there is a high risk of it being submerged because of increasing sea levels. Also, the climate of Mumbai is humid, and temperatures soar up to 35 degrees Celsius in summer. What is the point of having construction projects increase India's mean temperature further? Aren't citizens happy with the current humidity and heat? This is more disastrous for dry cities like Delhi, which is why Delhi has spread this huge with minimal high-rises. You won't believe it, but until the 1970s, the tallest structure in Delhi was the Qutb Minar, which is 73 meters high. Power and water supply. Another big culprit for India's not having a significant number of skyscrapers is the unreliable and insufficient power and water supply. Builders often consider the two essential factors before embarking on their construction projects. It is pretty obvious that high-rise buildings consume less power and water than low-rise buildings. Although the power for all has been in India for more than 2 decades, most regions still grapple with frequent power outages. And this is another good reason why Mumbai, which has reliable power and water supply, has had more skyscrapers than any other city in India. In other words, if India succeeds in dealing with the problem of power supply, then we might see more buildings crop up. To most of us, skyscrapers are symbols of things like wealth, power, and economic growth, and they tend to rise in places with high demand for space. In Asia, China has constructed nearly 1,100 skyscrapers over 200 meters tall. It is followed by South Korea with 86, Malaysia with 61, and Indonesia with 48. But India has less than 30 and only a couple of buildings even close to 300 meters under construction. That's a very unusual difference considering its population of 1.5 billion people and overall wealth. But as you have seen in this video, there are good reasons why India has lagged behind in the skyscraper affair. But most of these reasons are self-imposed and temporary. It is the hope of Indians that these hurdles are lessened, and we might see some fancy skyscrapers sprout to life. I will be keeping a close watch on India's skyscrapers affair, and I will be the first to inform you if any notable progress is made. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when similar videos drop in.